Hi friends, I am B.N. Patil, the founder, president and the principal of KVV Samiti's Sri N.B. Patil Memorial PU College, Vijaypur. If you are visiting this channel for the first time, please like it, subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of new videos. Let us take the first question. If the angular momentum of a planet of mass m moving around the sun in a circular orbit is L about the center of the sun, its aerial velocity is. The options are 1 L by m, 2 4L by m, 3 L by 2m, 4 2L by m. Consider a planet moving around the sun in the elliptical orbit. Suppose the planet moves from P1 to P2 in time dt, describing an angle d theta at the center. Then the area swept by the radius vector of the planet. So this area swept by the radius vector of the planet is given by A is equal to 1 by 2 r square d theta. So this is area covered by the planet. Therefore, aerial velocity can be written as dA by dt is equal to differentiation of this with respect to time. So here 1 by 2 is constant, we write 1 by 2. Here r is also constant, so we write it as it is. Then differentiation of d theta with respect to time, d theta by dt. But we know that d theta by dt is angular velocity. Angular velocity omega. Therefore, we write 1 by 2 r square omega. Here omega is angular velocity. And in the problem it is given that the angular momentum of the planet is L. We know that angular momentum is given by L is equal to mv into r, or you can write m r square omega, because v equal to omega r. If we substitute that, we will get m r square omega. So this implies omega is equal to L is equal to m r square omega. Therefore, omega is equal to L by m r square. Now we substitute this omega here. Therefore, aerial velocity dA by dt will be equal to 1 by 2 r square. In place of omega, we will write this L by m r square. Now r square gets cancelled. So we get L by 2m. Therefore, aerial velocity of the planet is L by 2m. This is the answer. Next question. The energy required to take a satellite to a height h above the Earth's surface is E1, and kinetic energy required for the satellite to be in a circular orbit at this height is E2. The value of h for which E1 and E2 are equal is. Options are 1 1.6 into 10 raised to 3 kilometer, 2 3.2 into 10 raised to 3 kilometer, 3 6.4 into 10 raised to 3 kilometer, 4 28 into 10 raised to 4 kilometer. Suppose the planet is taken to height. This is planet, this is center of the earth. Okay. Suppose the planet is taken to height h from the surface of the earth. Now, the work done in taking the planet from the surface of the earth to this height, that is E1, will be equal to change in its potential energy. The work done in taking the planet from the surface of the earth to the height h is equal to change in potential energy. So, suppose U0 is the potential energy on the surface of the earth and UH is the potential energy at height h, then U1 can be written as U0 minus UH. Now, the potential energy on the surface of the earth is given by G me into m divided by Re, where G is gravitational constant, me is mass of the earth and m is mass of the planet and RE is radius of the earth. Okay, yes. Then minus UH. UH is potential energy at height h. So that can be written as G MEM divided by RE plus H. So this is RE plus H. That is equal to, here G MEM can be taken as common. Then 1 by RE minus 1 by RE plus H. Let us simplify this. Here G MEM, and here we can take RE into RE plus H as the LCM. So LCM is RE into RE plus H. Then here we get RE plus H minus RE. Now here plus RE minus RE gets cancelled. Then we can write G MEM H divided by RE into RE plus H. Okay, G MEM into H divided by RE into RE plus H. So this is work done in taking the planet from the surface to height h. But in the problem it is given that this is equal to kinetic energy of the planet. Therefore let us find the kinetic energy. For that, first we apply Newton's second law of motion. According to Newton's second law of motion, the force acting on the planet is given by F is equal to ma. That is, A can be written as V square divided by RE plus H. You know the relation between acceleration and velocity. A is equal to V square by R. We have applied that formula. This is the force acting on the planet. But here the force acting on the planet is nothing but gravitational force of the earth. So according to Newton's law of gravitation, this force can also be written as G MEM divided by RE plus H square. Okay, according to Newton's law of gravitation. Now in these two, RE plus H and here one RE plus H gets cancelled. Then we get mv square is equal to G MEM divided by RE plus H. Now kinetic energy of the planet E2 is equal to 1 by 2 mv square. That is equal to 1 by 2 and mv square is here. G MEM divided by RE plus H. Okay, this is kinetic energy. But in the problem it is given that E1 is equal to E2. That is, work done in taking the planet to the height h is equal to kinetic energy of the planet. Therefore we write E1 is equal to E2. So this implies here E1 is here. That is G MEM H divided by RE into RE plus H. This is equal to E2. E2 is here. It is 1 by 2 ME into M divided by RE plus H. Now in these two, G MEM divided by RE plus H. Now here G MEM and G MEM gets cancelled. Then RE plus H and RE plus H gets cancelled. Therefore we get H is equal to RE by 2. Here RE is radius of the earth. Radius of the earth is 6400 km. So divided by 2. That is 3200 km. Or we can write 3.2 into 10 raised to 3 km. So this is the answer.
The next question, A satellite is moving with a constant speed v in circular orbit around the Earth. An object of mass m is ejected from the satellite such that it just escaped from the gravitational pull of the Earth. At the time of ejection, the kinetic energy of the object is 1 2 mv square, 2 mv square, 3 1 by 2 mv square, 4 3 by 2 mv square.
The kinetic energy of the planet will be equal to work done in taking the planet from its current position to infinity. Therefore, kinetic energy can be written as change in potential energy in taking the planet from current position to infinity. So here UR is potential energy at height R and U infinity is potential energy of the planet at infinity. So here the potential energy and kinetic energy of the planet at infinity will be always 0. So we write U infinity 0. And potential energy of the planet at distance R can be written as minus Gm m divided by R. Here G is gravitational constant, capital M is mass of the earth, small m is mass of the planet, and R is distance of the planet from the center of the earth. So this is G m by R. Here minus into minus it becomes plus. So G m by R. So this can be written as, I will write it like this way, square root of Gm by R. Here Gm by R, I will write it as square root of Gm by R square into m. Because here we know that square root of Gm by R is orbital velocity of the planet. So this can be replaced by V. So when we replace it by V, it becomes m v square. So kinetic energy of the planet when it escapes from the gravitational pull of the earth is mv square. This is the answer.
Next question. Two stars of masses 3 into 10 raised to 31 kg each and at a distance 2 into 10 raised to 11 meter rotate in a plane about their common center of mass O. A meteorite passes through O, moving perpendicular to the star's rotation plane. In order to escape from the gravitational field of this double star, the minimum speed that meteorite should have at O is options 1 2.4 into 10 raised to 4 meter per second, 2 1.4 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second, 3 3.8 into 10 raised to 4 meter per second, and 4 2.8 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second.
Two stars of equal mass m are rotating about their center of mass. So here both the stars have the same mass, therefore the center of mass will be the midpoint, the middle of these two. Okay, now the question is, what must be the minimum velocity of a meteorite to passing through this center of mass to escape from the gravitational force of these two stars? So we have to find the velocity of the meteorite. Suppose the mass of that meteorite is small m. Okay, and this meteorite is moving perpendicular to plane of rotation of these two stars. Okay, so this is the question. So here, when the meteorite escapes the gravitational force, its energy becomes 0. So here we apply law of conservation of energy. So initial energy is equal to final energy. Here first we will write initial energy of this system. First here we will write the potential energy of this star, that can be written as minus Gmm by R. Similarly, potential energy of this star minus Gmm by R. Here G is gravitational constant, capital M is mass of the star and small m is mass of the meteorite, and R is the distance between this star and the meteorite. Okay. Yes. Then potential energy of these two stars is this much. Then kinetic energy of this meteorite, we will write it as 1 by 2 mv square. This is total initial energy of the system. But when the meteorite escapes this system, its energy becomes 0. Therefore, final energy is 0. Okay. Therefore, this becomes minus 2 gmm by r plus 1 by 2 mv square is equal to 0. This is minus 2 gmm by r plus 1 by 2 mv square is equal to 0. Therefore, 1 by 2 mv square is equal to, I will send it to the right side, then this becomes plus 2 gmm by r. Okay. Now here this is small m gets cancelled. Therefore, v square is equal to, I will send this 2 to this side, then it becomes 4 gm by r. This is v square. Okay. So now substitute the values. 4 g value is given. It is 6.6 into 10 raised to minus 11, and m value is also given. Capital M, that is mass of the star, is 3 into 10 raised to 31 divided by r. R is distance between star and the meteorite. See here, the distance between the two stars is 2 into 10 raised to 11. Therefore, half of this distance will be half of this. Therefore, it is 1 into 10 raised to 11. Now simplify this. 4 3s are 12, 12 6s are 72, 12 6s are 72, carry 7, 79. So 79.2 into, here 10 raised to minus 11 into 10 raised to 31 is 10 raised to 21. 10 raised to 21, this when it comes to the numerator, it becomes 10 raised to minus 11. So 10 raised to 20 minus 10 raised to minus 11 is 10 raised to 9. Or this can be written as 7.9 into 10 raised to 10. So v square is equal to 7.9 into 10 raised to 10. Therefore, v is equal to square root of this. So square root of 7.9 can be approximately written as 2.8. Then square root of 10 raised to 10 is 10 raised to 5. So v is equal to 2.8 into 10 raised to 5 meter per second. This is the answer.
Next question. At some location on Earth, the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is 18 into 10 raised to minus 6 Tesla. At this location, magnetic needle of length 0.12 meter and pole strength 1.8 am is suspended from its midpoint using a thread. It makes 45-degree angle with horizontal in equilibrium. To keep this needle horizontal, the vertical force that should be applied at one of its ends is, the options are 1. 3.6 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton, 2. 1.8 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton, 3. 1.3 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton, 4. 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton.
Magnetic needle is suspended by a thread, then it makes angle 45 degree with the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Here horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is given, it is 18 into 10 raised to minus 6 Tesla, and magnetic pole strength small m, it is given 1.8 am, and the length of the needle is given, it is 0.12 meter. Now to bring this needle in the horizontal position, how much vertical force must be applied. That is the question. Okay. Now, when the needle is in the magnetic field, it will experience torque. So the magnitude of the torque is given by mb sin 45, because here it makes angle 45 degree. So mb sin 45 degree. This is torque experienced by the needle. This torque can also be written as force into vertical distance between these. So that can be written as F into L. When this comes in the horizontal position, the distance between the axis of rotation and the applied force will be L. So torque is also given by F into L. Okay. So this implies here M is magnetic dipole moment. So the magnetic dipole moment is given by M into 2L. Here 2L is length of the needle. And B I will write it as it is. And sin 45 is 1 by root 2 is equal to F into L. Now here this L gets cancelled. Therefore F is equal to, F can be written as 2mb divided by root 2. So now here m value is given, but b is not given. Only horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field is given. So we will find b. So to find b, first we will find the vertical component of magnetic field, that is bv. So bv can be written as bx tan 45 degree. But tan 45 is 1, therefore we get bv is equal to bx. Now b is equal to square root of bv square plus bx square. But here bv is equal to bx. So if we apply this, then it becomes 2 bx square. We will write bv equal to bx here, then it becomes 2 bx square, that is equal to root 2 bx. So now we substitute this b here, then we will get f is equal to 2m. In place of b I will write root 2 bx divided by root 2. Now root 2 gets cancelled. Now you substitute the values. 2 m value is 1.8 into bx value is 18 into 10 raised to minus 6. Now simplify this. 18 into 18, 324, 324 into 2, 648. Then here decimal point after one digit, then 10 raised to minus 6. Or approximately, this can be written as 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton. So this is the answer, 6.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 Newton.
A satellite is revolving in a circular orbit at a height h from the Earth's surface such that h is very much smaller than r, where r is the radius of the Earth. Assuming that the effect of Earth's atmosphere can be neglected, the minimum increase in the speed required so that the satellite could escape from the gravitational field of the Earth is, the options are 1 square root of 2gr, 2 square root of gr, 3 square root of gr by 2 and 4 square root of gr into root 2 minus 1.
Orbital velocity of a planet can be written as square root of g r plus h, where r is radius of the Earth and h is height of the planet above the surface of the Earth. But here it is given that h is very much smaller than r. H is very much smaller than r. Therefore, this h can be neglected. Then it becomes square root of gr. This is orbital velocity. Similarly, escape velocity can be written as square root of 2g r plus h. Again here h is very much smaller than r, therefore we can write it as 2gr. So now the question is, how much what should be the increase in the velocity of the planet so that it escapes from the Earth's gravitation force. Okay, therefore the change in velocity can be written as v minus vo. This is normal orbital velocity, so this is escape velocity. So increase in the velocity can be written as v minus vo, that is this square root of 2gr minus square root of gr, that is equal to, so in these two, square root of gr can be taken as common, then we will get square root of 2 minus 1. So this is the extra velocity required to escape from the gravitational force.
A straight rod of length L extends from x equal to a to x equal to L plus a. The gravitational force it exerts on point mass m at x equal to 0 if the mass per unit length of the rod is a plus bx square is given by. So the four options are given here. We will find out which is the right answer.
Here a rod extends from x equal to a to x equal to a plus l. Now the question is, what is the gravitational force exerted by this rod on mass m which is placed at x equal to 0? Here mass per unit length of the rod is given. I will write it as lambda. Lambda is equal to dm by dx, that is mass per unit length. It is given as a plus bx square. Okay. Therefore here we can write dm is equal to a plus bx square into dx. Now the force exerted by this small portion dm on m, we will write it as df. Using Newton's law of gravitation, the force exerted by dm on m can be written as g m dm divided by x square, where x is the distance between this and this point. Suppose here the distance is x. Okay, that is equal to g m, here dm can be written as a plus bx square dx divided by x square. This is the force exerted by small portion of this rod. Then the force exerted by the entire rod can be written as integration of df from a is equal to L to a is equal to, x equal to a to x equal to a plus L. Okay, so that is equal to integration of, here df is g m a plus bx square dx divided by x square. So here x is from a to a plus L. That is equal to, here this gm can be taken outside because this is constant. So we will take it outside, and gm integration of, here a by x square, then plus bx square. I will divide this by x square. Okay, a by x square plus b dx from x equal to a to x equal to a plus L. That is equal to gm, we will write it as it is. Now integration of a by x square becomes minus a by x, and integration of b is a constant, so b x. So we apply the limit from a to a plus L. Now you substitute the limits here. First we will put x equal to a plus L then minus x equal to a. That is equal to gm. First we will substitute the upper limit, then it becomes minus a divided by, in place of x I will write a plus m, then plus b, in place of x I will write a plus m. Okay, then minus lower limit, then it becomes minus a by, in place of x I will write a, then plus b, in place of x I will write a. Now simplify that. Gm here. Now here a can be, in these two, a can be taken as common. If I take a common here, then here minus of minus it becomes plus. So plus 1 by a, and here minus 1 by a plus n in these two. Then here ba, and this is minus ba. ba and minus ba gets cancelled. Then it remains only bm. So this is the answer.